I sat down for an interview with Daniel Gores, a convicted domestic violence offender who spent 4 years on probation because of his incident. He's a participant of the APIP program and found healing through his experiences. Hi, Daniel. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
What was the moment that you, had to face that your behavior was abusive?
It was actually when the whole incident happened when I got arrested the first time.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that night, what led up to it, who was there?
I recently had lost my job. I was also fighting for custody of my daughter. I lost that as well. And just an accumulation of things, family issues, money issues, things like that. And then I kind of just had enough that day that I couldn't really take it. And I ended up destroying the apartment. I started with the table, moved my weight into the bedroom, destroyed the mirrors, broke the doors, ended up cutting myself pretty bad. There was blood everywhere. My girlfriend at the time, when she came home, the apartment was already destroyed. We got into arguments, things were said, cops were called, and I was arrested immediately.
Were you able to recognize in that moment that what you were doing was wrong?
That night, I pretty much wanted everything to end. So I really didn't care much about anything. I was very, very manipulative, and not in a good way, if there's even a good way to say it.
Do you feel comfortable talking about what you went through as a child and how that's played a role in the abuse that you've dealt with as an adult?
Yeah, I'm comfortable enough to talk about it nowadays. I'll get a little, choked from time to time, but I don't mind talking about it.
I grew up in an abusive home as a child as well for 16 years, so I understand how uncomfortable it can be to revisit those moments and put yourself back in that space.
There was a lot of drinking from my father's side, actually. There was a lot of drinking around me when I was younger. And I used to get beaten just for the simple fact that I was in the room at the wrong time.
How do you think that influenced your decisions as an adult?
I mean, it pretty much just shaped everything that I did until I got on probation and then I got in the program. Put it this way, I've been drinking ever since I was around 7. I've been moving around since I was 3.
So what was the moment that you realized you needed to change?
When I went to rehab last year, and that actually had a lot to do with it. I came back when I got into the program with a different state of mind. I was more focused actually to not just complete the program, but to actually, get myself better.
So tell us a little bit about APIP. How has that changed you?
It helped me understand a lot about myself and my anger. The things that I consider violence, things that I never thought that would be considered, an act of violence towards somebody else. It also taught me that speaking about my problems actually does help. Not just about myself, but about, that I'm not the only person that is actually going through issues as well. We became a very close-knit family right away. A little dysfunctional, but a family nonetheless. There was no shame. There was never any shaming. We were very open with each other. And I listen actually. I'm in a very healthy relationship actually, and it's because of a lot of the things that I learned through the program. It's been phenomenal in all aspects of life, not just relationships. I am better at my job. I pay more attention to details and things like that. I actually get along well with some family members that I really didn't even speak to.
Do you still have a relationship with your anger and rage? Do you have moments where you feel it kind of creeping back in?
I mean, yeah. I'm only human, but I learned how to deal with it differently. I don't make decisions based just on pure emotions. If the situation gets too bad, walk away. It's easier said than done, but it's helped out a lot. just to be able to go ahead and remove yourself from the situation and just catch your breath, come back with a different perspective about why the situation escalated to where it did.
As you mentioned, you were going through a lot of things that led up to that incident that, led you to being on probation eventually. And had you talked about what you were going through, do you think that would have helped?
Everything that led to the situation was just bottled up emotions. If I would have had some sort of outlet, somebody that I was able to speak to about it, or just be confident on myself to actually look for somebody to talk to. Because there are places and people that would definitely talk to you about, whatever it is that you're going through. I'm a guy and I'm not supposed to have any feelings. I'm not supposed to cry. So, but now, I don't care. Look at me walking down the street with tears in my eyes. It's my feelings.
Is there any parting words you want to give to everyone who's watching right now?
The program works. It definitely does work. I'm actually happy with whom I've become compared to who I was just, 2 years ago. The tools are there. Use them. Take advantage of them. Ask questions. Do not be afraid to share your feelings. Talk about your feelings, guys.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us today. I'm really glad that you're back on your feet and doing well and in a healthy relationship. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you.